the centromeres of the chromosomes divide into two. So you can see that they've divided into two and that the chromosomes separate into chromatids, also known as daughter chromosomes. So before you had full chromosomes like this, for your first two phases, they are full chromosomes, and now you have half chromosomes, also known as chromatids or daughter chromosomes. Now the spindle fibers will shorten and pull these daughter chromosomes towards opposite poles. As you can see, this is one pole, this is one pole, and the spindle fibers are pulling them towards this pole, and these spindle fibers are pulling them towards this pole. So the spindle fibers are shortening and they are pulling the daughter chromosomes towards opposite poles. And then we have our final phase, telophase. As you can see, this is a cell, this is a cell. They are going to divide now. Daughter chromosomes have reached their opposite poles. As you can see, these have reached this pole and these have reached that pole. The nuclear membrane and the nucleolus begin to form. This is our nuclear membrane here. As you can see, it's forming again. The spindle fibers disappear. As you can see, we do not have any spindle fibers anymore, and the cytoplasm divides. You see these green lines here, they are representing that our cytoplasm is dividing. This is the part of cytokinesis. As I did say that we have two major phases. When we're looking at the major phases, we said we had karyokinesis and cytokinesis. Karyokinesis being the division of the nucleus and chromosomes, cytokinesis being the division of the cytoplasm and cell membrane. As you can see here, the chromosomes are involved and the nuclear membrane is involved. It is said the chromatid condenses, forming chromosomes. Nuclear membrane and nucleolus disappear. They are talking about the chromosomes and the nucleus. There again, they are saying the chromosomes move to the equator, still talking about chromosomes. Again, we are saying that the chromosomes divide, the chromosomes separate, the spindle fibers pull the daughter chromosomes. We are still talking about chromosomes. This is still karyokinesis. And then here we start to say the cytoplasm divides. So this is our only cytokinesis. When we are starting to speak about our cytoplasm, it is also about our cell membrane. As you can see, this part here is the cell membrane, and the cell membrane has not moved since our first phase. Since prophase, you can see the cell membrane is not concerned. You can see that your cell membrane is still very rigid. Nothing is happening to our cell membrane. But here you can see that your cell membrane is starting to divide now, because this cell is going to form this side and this cell is going to form this side, as you saw in the video. So the cell membrane starts to form. These phases have all been divided for convenience. As you saw in the video, it was like way faster than all of these four phases. You couldn't see which phase was happening. So, but for convenience, you have been told that there are four phases. The first phase being prophase, where it is preparing for division. The second phase being metaphase, where our chromosomes are at the middle in an ellipse. They are at a row at the equator. You can say it whichever way you want. And then the anaphase, the apart navigation, they're starting to move apart. They're starting to move to opposite poles. And then you have your last phase, telophase, which is the termination phase, the last phase. Termination means something is coming to an end. So it is coming to an end. Our two cells now are starting to form, and our nuclear membrane has also formed. Our spindle fibers disappeared, and all of that leads to the formation of two daughter cells. As you can see, we're going to have one daughter cell this side, one daughter cell this side. You have no mother cell anymore. From one cell, you have two cells. So after all of that explanation of what mitosis actually is, now we will look at why is it important. So why do the cells divide? In simple organism, it is used for asexual reproduction, which is reproduction without sex. So one organism can undergo mitosis, forming two organisms without the need of going through sexual intercourse and pregnancy and all of the processes that human beings undergo. Simple organisms only need mitosis and then they can reproduce. Mitosis also ensures that the organisms grow and increase in size. So all organisms are born small, they grow, they grow, they grow, they become teenagers, they become adults. All of that is through mitosis. So mitosis allows us to grow into teenagers. It allows us to grow into adults. It also ensures that damaged cells are repaired. We all know that from time to time our cells get damaged. our bodies get damaged. It could be internal, it could be external. You could cut yourself, you could burn yourself, you could fall down and then scrape your skin. All of that is damage to your cells. And mitosis ensures that all of these damaged cells are repaired. So mitosis will then form new cells that will repair all of these damaged cells, and then your body will be repaired. Mitosis also replaces the worn out or dead cells. So think of your skin. Skin undergoes a lot of damage. It is exposed to the sun, it is exposed to harsh weather. Skin cells die over time, but you always have skin cells. It's not like you will come across a person who doesn't have skin. And now, why is that possible? How can it withstand the heat, the cold, the pressure, all of that? It's because of mitosis. You are not born with the same skin that you die with. In fact, your skin last week and your skin today is not the same, because skin is always undergoing mitosis. It's always forming new cells. Once the skin cells are worn out or they are dead, new skin cells will form. So we can summarize all of these points by saying that mitosis plays a role in growth, repair, and reproduction. Now let us look at cancer. So cancer is uncontrolled mitosis. So uncontrolled mitosis in the body results in cancer. The cells that are formed by this uncontrolled mitosis lose their original function. As you'll remember, there was specialization and differentiation. Every cell formed has to be specialized and differentiated. But the cells formed by uncontrolled mitosis do not go through specialization and differentiation, so they lose their original function. So they are useless cells. Actually, they don't do anything, but they still acquire nutrients. So these cells are in your body, they are absorbing the nutrients of your body, but then again they are useless to you. With the repeated cycle of uncontrolled mitosis, a mass of tissue is formed and it is referred to as a tumor. So this uncontrolled mitosis forms again and again in repeated cycles until these cells form tissues, and these tissues of useless cells become what is called a tumor. So cancer can be caused by exposure to the sun, exposure to X-rays, chemicals such as asbestos, or it can be inherited. So there's different types of cancers. Skin cancer can be caused by exposure to the sun. Breast cancer can be caused by exposure to X-rays. Lung cancer can be caused by exposure to chemicals such as asbestos or the tobacco in cigarettes. And most cancers can be inherited. So if there's a history of cancer in your family, there is a chance that you can also inherit cancer from your parents. And most people have negative attitudes towards cancer, and they think that cancer cannot be prevented or that the cancer cells cannot be destroyed. Cancer can be prevented and the cancer cells can be destroyed. There are two methods: chemotherapy and radiotherapy. Chemotherapy is when the cancer cells are being destroyed by chemicals, and radiotherapy is where the cancer cells are being destroyed by radio waves. So the destruction of cancer cells can be done by chemotherapy and radiotherapy. And preventing cancer is simple. You could use sunscreen or stay away from the sun. You could use protective gear when you are going in front of an X-ray. You could just stay away from chemicals such as asbestos, and you should not smoke cigarettes. That's like the simplest way to avoid lung cancer. Stay away from cigarettes, stay away from people who are smoking cigarettes. I'm done with mitosis. I will be seeing you in the next video, where we move over from cells and go to tissues.